Yeah. What we are going to do now is to present and elaborate on the new updated the long-term goals and financial targets that were presented via press release last night. And after that, we will take a short break for coffee, and we will sit down all the presenters from today in this corner for a Q&A session, which will be hosted by Charlotte. And if you could wave your hand there, Charlotte, she will. You can go to her if you have questions that you would like to get answered during the Q&A.
Great, and then we are finished.
And then we are finished.
Right.
We're very grateful that you invest this day in Varberg and in Vertiseit. So
great. So, like, where do you start? Like, we really wanted to have goals now that reflects like our long-term ambition. We also want to see like what is the potential that we actually have identified, and what is realistic from like a scalability growth perspective. And there has been like 6 months back and forth working with the new goals. But one key starting point looking at the way ahead, if you have a long perspective, is to look at the market opportunity. And basically, like Damien described, like everywhere where it's like a physical customer meeting, there is a potential to use digital elements to facilitate the customer journey. Meaning basically that every store on the planet is an addressable market. But so how do you actually narrow that down? What we have done now is that we looked at the top 50 brands globally in our 5 strongest segments, altogether 250 brands, retailers. They operate 1.5 million stores, only those 250. If you have 10 devices, 10 touch points per store, it's like directly, it's a core addressable market of 15 million licenses. And as we mentioned today, like our current rate is that we have 150,000 licenses. So basically, we only like scratched the surface of what digital in-store will be. So that's one component, and I think we can go further and say, okay, so what is our ambition? So, and it's we have talked about it before. Like our ambition is to connect the world of retail and to be the #1 IXM platform company on a global basis. And then we come into the goals. So we also say, like, how will a market leader look like? Like, if we want to be the market leader, well, how will an IXM market leader look like? And we think that it will at least have like 1 billion in ARR. And it sounds like a big number, but from where we are today. But if you look at that, we have 1% of the core addressable market today. It basically, like with 200 million as a basis, hopefully end of the year, right? It's 5x. And then it comes to the what point of time, like what speed can you have to get there? And as Jonas said, we have had, when we met 3 years ago, we were at like 50. We said we should have 200. It's 4x in 3-4 years, right? And now it's like 5x, but we think it will take 8 years. So it's basically we will grow slower in percentage, but faster in revenue. And So if we look at the full picture, so the yellow one is where we want to be, 2032, and the gray targets, the financial goals, is what we want to meet, like every, like all the way to the goal. And maybe you can elaborate, Jonas, on the goals.
Yes. So we have our long-term goals, 1 billion in ARR and a profitability goal, where we would like to end up in 2032. And the financial targets, that's how the journey will look like while moving there. So the ARR goal is clear. It will require us to have like an annual growth rate of approximately 22% to go there mathematically. But of course, there will be acquisitions along the way. And how we handle acquisitions is actually covered by one of the financial targets. By the end of 2032, we should also have a profitability of at least 35%. And the profitability measure that we use to evaluate this is EBITDA reduced by CapEx, which are the investments in our products. Which is the most fair and honest way to actually express profitability, because that's what also comes closest to the actual cash flow. So 1 billion in ARR, 35% in profitability in 2032, and on the way there, we will have an annual ARR growth of at least 20% per year. While growing at least 20% per year, we should also have a profitability growth, a profit growth of 25%, and that is calculated per share, meaning that we need to be cautious when it comes to issuing new shares, and we need to be very wise while performing acquisitions, in order not to dilute shareholders and therefore create as much shareholder value as possible. So a profit growth per share of 25%, and also this is expressed in the metric EBITDA reduced by CapEx. And we're also keeping one financial target that is also currently in play. That's the revenue retention, because that's a qualitative measure that is really important to us, that we never shall fail on, because we always need to have satisfied customers that stays with us for a long time and that we keep growing on.
That's it. And maybe I should say something about that. It's really like a long-term period. There are pros and cons with why didn't we take like a 3-year goal? Why do you take a long-term goal? But I also think that it reflects like how we look at the business, our long-term commitment to become number one. That's the goal. We think it will take this time to get there. And with the set of goals that we have, it's also really easy to see if we follow the path. Like I think it gives a clear guiding for all investors. Like where do we want to be, how to get there. Well, it's also easy to calculate, like from a value generation perspective. And it's easy to see when we are above or below the path to get there, and also the time frame which we look into things, like Roland mentioned it. we might add the first new customers to the new IXM grid by next year. So our investments into the technology to be the market leader in this space is also like long term. So I think it's reflected. But happy to have your feedback, comments on those goals. I think now we take a break, 5 minutes, discuss with each other about the goals, and other topics, and then we will have the panel with all people that have been on stage ready for questions.